Welcome back to the show right here on Sports Radio 95.9 The Fan. My name's Mark, and right now we're continuing our conversation with a good man. His name is Jeff Barlis, ESPN.com, and we're previewing Florida Gators Spring Practice. And let's continue the conversation. Let's switch gears to the defense, and I want to get your thoughts overall. What are your thoughts on this defensive unit here in Spring Practice?
Well, I think if there's one tell about how Florida's defense is performing, it's always Will Muschamp's comfort level. When he comes into a press conference and he's relaxed and joking around, you know he's feeling good about his defense. This is a defensive coach, and you know that's his side of the field. That's his expertise, and he holds them to a very high standard. In his first 3 years, they performed very well, and I see really no reason why they won't reload again this season. You have to look at how they did last year after they lost 7 starters, I believe. You know, that's a really big number. And, you know, they've lost a couple more starters heading into this season. But, you know, this has, I think, you know, this defense has a better opportunity to take a step forward. There was maybe a slight step back last year. It was a down season overall, and the defense slipped a little bit at the end when a lot of players seemed to just be hoping the season would end. But you know, this defense has a lot of young talent, and there's really no reason not to imagine that some of those players are going to emerge as real standouts and push this defense forward and keep them really in that, you know, upper echelon of SEC defenses.
We're here with Jeff Barlis, ESPN.com. Give him a follow on Twitter at Jeff Barlis, ESPN. We're previewing Florida Gators Spring Practice. And what about those linebackers? I know Morrison, he came back from a suspension, but did not play very well in 2013. I hope he's not listening when I say that comment. But what about him? Is he one of these guys who's going to have to step up, or are there some new guys, like you were saying a second ago, who are going to have to become some of the stars of that linebacking core?
Well, linebacker is a very interesting position for the spring, middle linebacker in particular. But, you know, Florida recruited 4 really good linebackers in their previous class, the class of 2013. 2 of those guys have been injured and really not had a full opportunity to participate in spring or play a whole lot of games. But you know, there's a good amount of depth, and getting back to that middle linebacker position, you've got Antonio Morrison, who really made a huge impact as a true freshman. By the end of the season, you know, he had cracked the starting lineup next to John Bostic and Jelani Jenkins. You know, he really showed that he was going to kind of follow in their footsteps. You know, high impact. Big play linebackers, and then he just had a terrible 2013. He had a couple of arrests in the offseason. Nothing too concerning overall for his career. He did have a suspension to deal with that and kind of get back in line. But the biggest impact was that this is someone that Florida was kind of counting on to be one of their vocal leaders. So Morrison's play slipped a little bit, and that kind of kills any credibility with your teammates when you're, urging them on or holding them accountable. I do think that, with Morrison staying out of trouble and recovering from some torn cartilage in his knee, that the slate is a little bit more clean for him, and he has an opportunity this spring to sort of reclaim that prominent role as one of the top leaders on the defense, and Muschamp certainly singled him out for praise and his work ethic in the offseason. But really, Florida has options at middle linebacker. They have a senior in Michael Taylor who's very good at stopping the run, not so great in dropping into coverage. But, as a two-down linebacker, he could certainly take that middle linebacker job away from Morrison if Morrison, it doesn't return to his impact as a freshman. But linebacker in general, you've got Neron Ball at the strong side, another senior who's very experienced. And then at the weak side, Florida has a lot of options there, but Jared Davis was a true freshman last year. who emerged. The coaches absolutely love him. He was probably the least heralded of those 4 linebackers that they recruited in 2013, but he's the one who got into the starting lineup and has a very good chance of starting this 2014 season.
We're here with Jeff Barlis, ESPN.com, and we're talking Florida Gator football. Spring practice is now underway. Spring game coming up next month in April. And let me end with this with the defense. How about that secondary? I know Will Muschamp was talking about this a couple of days ago with the media, including yourself, how they got some studs back there. What are your thoughts on the DBs and the safeties?
Well, they have some great prospects. They also lost some great NFL prospects. So, you're I think you're looking at a secondary with a lot of turnover. Florida lost both of its starting safeties to the NFL after the 2012 season, and then they've lost both of their starting safeties after the 2013 season. So that's a lot of turnovers. You also look at Marcus Roberson and Lucius Purifoy as 2 starting cornerbacks, 2 high-level SEC starting cornerbacks. But one of the main reasons Florida feels great about its secondary, aside from the fact that Will Muschamp coaches safeties and Travaris Robinson coaches the DBs in general, the cornerbacks, those are 2 fine coaches, is the presence of Vernon Hargreaves. You really don't see too many freshmen just step out of high school and into a starting role in the SEC and play the way he did. He was an all-SEC performer, which really is a very rare feat for a true freshman. Just a very, very advanced young man. I think Florida fans are in for a treat to have him for 2 more seasons. And, this year, if he can continue to improve, you're talking about probably the best cornerback in the SEC and a leader on the team. And next to him, Florida's recruited another true freshman that they hope can challenge for a starting job. And it's very good for them that he enrolled in January. His name's Jalen Tabor.
Oh, yeah.
And he's one that they're hoping kind of, follows in Hargreaves' footsteps and just wrestles a starting job away, steps right in and declares that I'm the guy. After that, Florida's got a number of players. I think they're a little more iffy at cornerback because they've got a number of guys who could kind of switch between safety and cornerback. So that's going to have to sort itself out. There, I think, are more options at safety, and there's a lot of talent there as well. I see no reason why the secondary won't continue to be a strength.
We're here with Jeff Barlis, ESPN.com. I just want you to know this. I'm in with this, and I appreciate coming on. I might be driving up for the spring game just to see Will Grier throw the ball. Is that okay, or am I the only one who wants to do that?
No, that's certainly okay. I think there's a lot of excitement about Florida's quarterback of the future. They've got another quarterback coming in the summer by the name of Treon Harris, so you can't exactly anoint Will Grier. But, the theory would be if everything goes according to plan for Florida, then you're going to see Will Grier pass the ball in the spring a lot more than you'll see any of him in the fall. They're really hoping that Driskel is healthy, plays a full slate of games for the first time in his career, and that they can redshirt both of these true freshman quarterbacks. But Will Grier comes in with a tremendous pedigree. I've spoken with him and his father, who's also his high school coach, extensively. He's really got that swagger, that mindset of being a big-time quarterback. And he's got a tremendous arm. He's very athletic. He really fits the bill. So this might be a great opportunity to see him this spring. Certainly the spring game, might be a chance for him to show off a little bit. Maybe Kurt Roper can show off his offense with Will Grier, and maybe Grier can make a statement that he could fight for that starting job next season, even if Driskel does return.
Good stuff. His name is Jeff Barlis, ESPN.com, covers the Gators and the SEC. You can follow him on Twitter at Jeff Barlis, ESPN. Jeff, love getting you on the show. We went long there, but I think for our Gator fans, they'll like that. I hope we can get you on again closer to the spring game and moving forward with the Gators football season.
Yeah, man, it's really a pleasure. Anytime.